Hey guys, it is me, truly. I'm coming to you today just to say, hey, I missed you. How about a lot? I missed you a lot. How about that? So, I'm back, guys, and I wanted you to know I just had to stop in and show my face because I know time is moving and we just had a few holidays, and I'm hoping that everyone had a wonderful holiday experience, okay? For me, I had a really nice holiday experience. It was really peaceful, laughter, love, family, friends. It was really, really nice. So I'm hoping the same for you. Now, I'm coming in to remind you about the childhood traumas, and I wanted to let you know I have been doing a lot, uh, and I've been so amazed at everything I've been seeing, come to life, and just watching everything move the way it's moving in life. It's amazing. It's amazing. But we're going to stay on topic. So that's childhood traumas, right? And we were on this. Actually, I gave you two steps in one when I was giving the one because they kind of flow right into one another like they do. It is you're doing more. You're just moving right into them. So when you sit and do the breathing, you do the breathing right, and then from there you're going to end up moving right into step two because once you do the breathing, and when you're doing this breathing, you're in, out, in, out, right? And as you do that, you'll feel your arms and your body start to become a little limber, and that's a good thing because you're moving right into the place you need to be. And as you do that, allow your energy to just move through you and into a place where you can anchor that energy to whatever you're sitting on. It's called grounding, right? You're grounding yourself. And you do that, right? You ground yourself, and then you go back. That's moving you right into step two. You go back, right? And you go back to that place, that time, wherever it happened, you go back. And you see and witness and experience everything that happened back then. And while you're in that moment and you're feeling that and you're going into that experience, you're identifying the feelings, the emotions, and you're calling them out in your head. You know what you're feeling. You know if it was hurtful or painful or even some may have been pleasurable, you know, because kids don't know. Kids know what makes them feel good. Kids know what makes them feel bad. So whatever you were feeling, you embrace that and you keep count of it. And then when you come out of it, please do not stop yourself in the midst of the process and start to try to write things down. Don't do that. Keep it, feel it, and when you finish, record it. Write it in a book, a piece of paper, or whatever you choose to use to keep note of. And then you'll be moving right into step three. As you're in the step three phase of it all, start to love yourself through every emotion that you're feeling. You're going to love yourself in part one when you're going in for going back. Part two, you're going to love yourself for going back while you're there, standing there, looking at it, remembering, feeling, reflecting. Go back. And then you start to love yourself for every feeling that you're experiencing in that moment and that you experienced at that time in life. And as you do that, you're taking a mental note, which is now into a fourth step phase because you're now going to write these things down. And by the time you get through that and you come out of it in five, you're going to come out of it. You're going to love yourself through that. You're going to love yourself for coming out of it. You're going to let yourself know that you are okay. You are good. And eventually, when you get to that place, you'll be writing all the things and all the emotions that you felt. You're going to put them into a letter, right? And once you put them into that letter, you can do whatever you feel like you're brave enough or strong enough to do at that time. If you want to go back to that person and stand there and read the letter to them, you can do that. You could call them on the phone. You can mail it to them. Or you can simply take the letter and you can burn the letter up. Or you can release the letter into the river, the lake, or whatever. Whatever you do in the end, you want to be done with the letter because you're letting all of that go. And you're saying your final goodbyes to it, okay? And we need to do this because we can't love anything in a healthy way if we're not first loving ourselves, okay? And that means even through the worst moments in our lives, we have to learn to love ourselves, okay? And once you do that, and the reason you have to do that is because we have people, some of us have children. And just know that if this energy was carried through you and in you throughout your adult life, from childhood to adult life, because these are traumas that you faced as a child and you had nowhere to put them. A lot of people grew up in families where, oh, what goes on in the house stays in the house. I used to hate to hear people say stuff like that because it's sad, but this is how people were brought up. You don't know any better until you know better. So, sweeping things under the rug and acting as if it did not happen, but the person that it happened to is traumatized by it. And now you just shut off all of their rights, their voice, their emotions, everything. They're numb. If that is energy that we end up carrying with us as children because we don't know what to do with it, we don't know how to identify it, and we don't know how to embrace it, we bring that through our children, right? And then you can't understand them. You don't know why they're behaving a certain way, or it's a certain thing that they do that really ticks you off because that's possibly something that you used to do. And when you done it, it caused you to be stuck with childhood traumas in an adult life, right? I get it. So that's why we're putting a stop to it. These are also identified as generational curses, okay? And we're not going to blame the folks around you for doing it. Some of them probably didn't even know that they were doing that to you. Some of them are probably victims of the very same offenses that are being done or had been done to you coming up as a child. So they can't do any better if they don't know any better. So we'll cut them off at generational curse, the root of it. We're going to cut that thing off, okay? So that we stop it here. All right? So that's why we're going to face childhood traumas, because we want to be loving people healthily. We want to love healthily. We want to embrace people fully. We don't want to pull someone in and then shut them out because they're getting too close to the core of our hearts. Now you're getting too far in. And if I'm a person or you're a person who suffered abandonment issues or insecurity or neglect or abusive verbal abuse, then you hear certain things and it push you back, right? Because you think, oh, I know what that looked like. Let me get away now. If it feels too close to your heart, you push it away because you don't want to be hurt again. You don't want to be rejected or abandoned by this person. So you won't show it. You'll just act like you don't have any emotions. You don't feel anything. Stop it. That's it. Because guess where we going right here in 21? No more on the run in 21. We are not running from anything any longer in 21, okay? Everything stops here. The generational curse, the childhood trauma that affects our adult life right now is stopping today. You down for that? I am. I'm already in it. I hope you are too. But I wanted to let you guys know, once you do it, you are going to feel really, really good. I'm telling you, you're going to feel good and things are going to be a little more clear to you and you're going to be like, wow, damn, I'm glad I done this. Okay? And then believe it or not, other things are going to start to spurk up. Pew, pew. You're going to start saying, wow, I forgot all about that. Because our bodies have a way of numbing us to things that may cause us too much pain. If you get cut and it's too deep, then you need stitches. But you normally don't feel that. It becomes numb, right? You may have felt the initial terror, but you don't feel that deep wound because your body has to protect itself from going into a shock. And that's the same way with us when it comes to emotions. Because if we feel too much emotional pain, it becomes a mental. And before that, the mental, you can lose it. So your body has a way of pushing things way back here. And after a while, through life and time or moments that'll take place and happen, you'll see where, oh, shucks, it triggers something. Now it's starting to move to the forefront. Now you're starting to remember, wow, something I thought I forgot about, it's been buried. Your body, your mind, your system, everything has to do what it does in order to continue to survive. So that's where we are, and then we act a certain way and behave a certain way, and then we don't understand why we just did this to this person, or why did we treat that person that way, because of fear. Something in there kicked in, or it reminds you of someone who used to do that when you were a child, and that's what you know. We stopping all that. No more excuses, okay? It's time to be free of it, and that's what we're doing. We're facing everything head on. No more on the run in 21. That's it. That's the challenge. Everything. I'm on board. So, I wanted you to know also, I have been doing a lot of things, and I have really, really, really enjoyed everything that I've seen. Has been like so overwhelming, right? And I was just talking to a sister of mine, and I was telling her, like, I'm in here get ready to do a video. I said, but, I get lost in my own world, folks. I do. And I'm going to tell you something. You have to find something that you love to do. I don't care what corny, quirky thing you may think it is, or your family members or friends have made you believe coming up, or whatever point in time in your life that made you put it aside. Go back and get it. If it was something that you that you really enjoyed, go back to it. Go back and get it, especially while you're going through this facing childhood trauma moment, because you're going to need it, okay? Go back and get it and start doing it. And I guarantee you're going to be so relieved and so at peace with knowing that you did something that keeps you in a positive mindset, where you are embarking on time spent for self, because we can lose ourselves when we're out here caring for people and raising families and trying to be in relationships and all these things that take a lot of our time away from self. And I'm not saying now, if you need to be selfish, do what you have to do until you get to that place where you feel like you can now safely put yourself back out there. But we have to do that, because when you're going through this and you're relieving yourself of it and you're finding yourself embarking on something that really fulfills you, man, you're going to be in a wonderful place, I promise you. So that's where I've been. You have not seen me in a minute, but guess what? I wanted you to know I have not given up. I am not throwing in the towel. I'm going to keep marching through this thing until I see victory unfold right before my eyes. Do you hear me? And it's already doing that. So I'm going to tell you what I've been doing. And I'm going to show you some of these things. But I like to paint. And I like to sew, paint, wine glasses mostly. I'm on glass a lot of times, hand painting. But I also make earrings, jewelry, rings, bracelets. On top of that, I am now moved to canvas, so I'm doing a lot more canvas pieces. And I haven't been on my sewing machine in a while now, but I've created some garments with that. So I'm embarking on that right there, and I am loving everything I see. If you believe in God, I'm going to say, if you believe in God, then I'm quite sure you've heard or read in the book, or you heard your pastor or your grandma, someone tell you, hey, he will pour you out blessings that you don't have room enough to receive. Your cup will runneth over. I'm standing right there in that moment, because you hear these things and you may think, oh my, money, cars, houses. It may not be right there, folks. Guess what? My cup is running over with gifts that's being birthed out of me. That is the most mind-blowing thing ever. I got goals and things and avenues that I'm taking to accomplish other dreams. But to watch dreams like this unfold, and to watch things come up out of you that you didn't even know was in there. I done some things that I didn't even know was there. And it blew my mind. And that's me. I love to see things come to life. I love to see something that looks like nothing turn into something beautiful, right? And I want that for you too. I want that in such a way for you that I want it for you to see yourself turn into something beautiful. Not saying that you are not beautiful already where you stand, but as you start to weed out these things, watch yourself bloom in a way like, whoa, man, that's awesome. And I did that. It came from me. It's in me. I am that. You have to, and you also have to be your biggest fan. You have to let yourself know that you're okay. And you have to be mindful of the company you keep. Because you don't want to end up with childhood traumas on top of other traumas. And as an adult, we already carrying childhood traumas into our adult life. And to add on more trauma, it's a scary place to be, you know. So I had to come back in and let you guys know that I miss you and I'm thinking of you and I have not forgot you. And I definitely want you to stay on that childhood trauma piece because you're going to be so proud of yourself for doing it. I promise you, when you come out, you're going to be like, whoa, I feel really, really good. And I am really proud of myself. And guess what? When I went back, I didn't I didn't cry. I didn't do all that. I really was glad I was there, and it was so clear. It was like it made. I had a lot of things answered. It was questions and things back then. Like what? You're gonna find a lot of answers when you do it. Trust me. Okay. But we need to do this because we have a generation of people coming up behind us. We have children in our neighborhoods and around us, nieces, nephews, cousins, and things like that, that may need you to be the one who identifies something and you may can help that child. But if you can't even do that, at least you knew what it was like for you going through when you were that age. And now that you're coming out of, you're able to see and breathe a little better. You can help stop and cut off a generational curse right there before that child becomes an adult walking around with it. And remember, it turns into energy. Whatever happens at that young age and you're not being able to identify those emotions turns into energy. And we birth that into our children. So stay on the childhood trauma, right? And I was sharing with a sister of mine on the phone. I was letting her know that I was getting ready to do my video and we got to talking and I was letting her know, with the video, what I was doing, that I had already put one up and I was following up on it. And I was sharing with her how, we don't even realize or even look back over your life and realize certain things that happened as a kid still affects you now as an adult. And I was sharing with her, like, if you are afraid of abandonment, then, you may hold on a little too tight. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a fear of rejection, then you usually won't ever tell a person how you truly feel. We do this now as adults, folks. Folks, I watch males and females all day. This is what I do. I'm around all types all day, okay? And I see them, you know. We walk around so icy, so cold, so whatever. We don't feel nothing. No, stop it. You walking around jacked up because you trying to act like you're okay when your ass is not. And guess what? The sad part about it is you can't see yourself like everyone else can. You only give a glance in the mirror when you wake up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, and you're out the door and on the go. How often do you stand in the mirror and just take a real good look at yourself and speak to yourself and tell yourself how great you are and tell yourself, guess what? Yeah, you did have a real messed up attitude the other day. You may owe an apology to some people. How many of us do that? I do it. Yeah, I do. But you need to try that, folks. Because you're going into facing some childhood traumas and you need to pull those things up out of you and get them out into the sea of forgetfulness. And as you do that, take a minute to stop and look at yourself in the mirror. Reflect over your life. Reflect, even go back in your childhood traumatized that moment then and say, guess what? I made it through. I'm still standing. I am here. And I've accomplished some great things. Even while carrying those wounds, I'm still here. And now, knowing that I'm getting ready to be free of those things, I'll be able to stand here a little longer and take a bigger look at myself. That's what we first need to do. And guess what? Like I was sharing with my sister, I said, guess what you do? You in there? A lot of people are quarantined. They in the house. They can't go nowhere. It's nothing to do. You're getting depressed. You're bored, or whatever the case is. No, take a minute for you. I said, girl, get up in there. I said, play with your hair, pin it up, move it around, lay it down, do it. I said, put a little bit of makeup on, a little lipstick, clean up your eyebrows a little bit, or whatever the case is. Do you? I said, and walk through there and admire yourself. Look at the images of yourself. Because we as adults on the go, trying to raise families, trying to maintain relationships and bills and workplaces and all these things that we do, we tend to neglect ourselves sometimes. We tend to forget about the things that used to make us feel good on the inside, the things that fulfilled us, the things that we love to do that we no longer do. We need to go back to the things that we love to do. And if that means just standing there for a minute and reminding yourself, do that. I was sharing with her how I am how I'm just like, I'm seeing so many things move in this time and season that we're in, right? And in 2020, we had a lot of loss, and that's with death alone. A lot of loved ones, a lot of friends. Then you have jobs and businesses and homes and people are out here right now pulling up, getting food to put in their house by way of churches and things like that because they have no income or means to even go out and buy groceries for their families. That's a traumatic moment right there for a lot of people. So it's time to get those things in order, folks. And, I was sharing with her how we can quickly lose ourselves when we're caring and giving a little too much sometimes. She was sharing how, she has a really good heart and she's always trying to look out for people and take care. Guess what? Sometimes you can pull it back a little bit, especially if the people you're giving to are not receiving. They're taking. If they're not reciprocating it and seeing it as a kind person doing something nice, then you may have to reel it back in for a minute. If you need to be selfish with you a little bit, go ahead. You done gave enough of you away anyway, so what's the difference? And who gives a damn about somebody getting mad? Guess what? That's the problem with a whole lot of us still carrying that childhood behavior with us. We so busy worried about people being mad at us that you end up pissed off with yourself. Guess what I learned early? I would rather for you to be mad at me than me to be mad at myself and got to look at me all goddamn day long. Which one thing for certain, if you're mad at me, I don't have to worry about looking at your ass because you're going to be out the way. If you can't, you'll be gone and about your business. I don't have to see you. We don't have to talk. And I'm cool with that. You understand? But it feels good not to be pissed off with me for giving you a yes when I really wanted to say no. Hell no. No. That's what it is. You mad? See you later. Talk to you when you come back. However. But it's okay. But I had to let her know, like, yeah, give it to you now. Give it to you. And, a lot of adults are out here they walking around, they're afraid, they hurt, they scared to open up and allow someone to love them because they don't want to be hurt. Some of them are still hurting from the past hurt. I'm so thankful that I'm coming out. You know what I'm saying? I too have been through a lot. Yes, I have. And I'm good. I'm coming through. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to put it out there. Okay? So I want you to do the same, right? I was letting her know how I was seeing things moving out here. Like, I just see so much. So many things are moving. And I was walking, and I came in my place about a week or so ago. And walked in and set this here and that there, same routine, taking off coats, whatever. And I happened to walk past my dining room, and I looked around, and I was like, wow, my God. I said, my cup is, you said it, you will pour it out, that I will have no room to receive. I said, and this is amazing because my dining room is now a whole workshop. I said, wow, this is amazing. And everything that's standing around me is something beautiful that you allowed to be birthed out of me. I am so overwhelmed. I am so grateful. I looked at every plant, and just about all of them was a plant that someone took for being dead. You work in certain buildings and they change out, they'll give you those or they're going to throw them in the trash. And every plant was pretty much written off, right, as dead, nothing, no good. And I brought them home, and every last one of them, they have flourished and been, a lot of them has been right here with me for years. And not just this location, but the next, the one before, they're with me. And they've grown, they've bloomed into something beautiful, and that's amazing. So I want you to find something that you really used to like to do, pick it back up. If it's something you haven't even tried yet but always wanted to do, pick it up. Just do it. And I guarantee you're going to be amazed at what you see. I told her how, I was sharing with her how people, some people will hurt you because they're hurt people and they don't know better. I said, but in the times and the things that I've seen in the last year, I said, I really watched how God has moved in a way, and I've seen it just happening, moving, And I was telling her how a lot of people came back from my past. Exes, and I'm talking childhood stuff because I was in one relationship for 19 years. So, that's just past life stuff, moments in time. And these people came back one after the other, just every few months or so, someone would find me, call me, and we would just talk, and they would tell me all the great things about me and everything that I meant to them in our life, in our young life as teens and young adults and things like that. And it was so overwhelming, but it was such a beautiful experience because, like I said, we can begin to lose ourselves in the midst of trying to do this thing called life, right? You working, you're going, you're coming, bills, this, my wife, husband, kids, whatever you have going on. And to have people to come back and pour into you is a wake up to remind you of who you are so that you don't fall, so that you don't let go, so that you won't give up. So I'm going to ask you also to pay attention as you take this walk down the childhood trauma lane. Listen to the people around you, and when they're coming back and they're talking to you and reminding you or telling a story about you and something you done when you guys were young or years ago, listen to them. Sometimes we could be a little modest and be like, go ahead, I don't want to hear that. Like, go ahead. Yeah, but hear it. If it comes back to you, you need to hear it because they're pointing back in. They're pointing back in so that you won't get lost in the process. Okay? I love you guys. I thank you so much for listening. I thank you for viewing. I thank you for your comments. And I ask if you did or you're here for the first time. This channel we're growing and we're trying to get as many likes and thumbs ups in 2021 because we are no more on the run in 21. That is it. That's it. Stop right here. There's no more ducking, no more dodging, no more looking over your shoulder, pushing away, rolling up windows, closing people out, building walls, pushing them back. We're facing it all head on, and there's no more on the run in 21. That's it. That's it. That's where we're going, okay? And I want you guys to stay in there, stay in the fight, do not give up, because we will see the victory in the end. I promise you, okay? And if you like this channel, if you feel that you could benefit from it, or even add to by giving a small testimony, then we greatly appreciate it, okay? And we want to hear from you. So please do me a favor. Hit the little subscribe button over there in your corner. It's probably on this side, on the other end. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the word all. Once you hit all, it's going to let you know every time I post. I thank you so much. Thumbs up, folks. And please, keep moving around, keep circulating, and if you can, pass this on and share it with a friend so that we can see this channel grow. But guess what? We want to see each and every one of us grow as well, and we're doing that in 21. Why? Because we're no longer on the run. I love you. Smooches. Mwah.